Greetings, everyone. Father Jim here. Hope you do well on this Thursday. And it is the 25th day of January. And today we celebrate a feast day in the church, that of the conversion of St. Paul. So I'll just be reading from the first reading from our liturgy today. And that comes, of course, from the Acts of the Apostles. There are two choices there. I'm going to choose the first choice, Acts chapter 22, verses 3 through 16. Paul addressed the people in these words: I am a Jew, born in Tarsus in Cilicia, but brought up in the city. At the feet of Gamaliel, I was educated strictly in our ancestral law and was zealous for God, just as all of you are today. I persecuted this way to death, binding both men and women and delivering them to prison. Even the high priest and the whole council of elders can testify on my behalf, for from them I even received letters to the brothers and set out for Damascus to bring back to Jerusalem in chains for punishment those there as well. On that journey, as I drew near to Damascus, about noon, a great light from the sky suddenly shone around me. I fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to me, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? I replied, Who are you, sir? And he said to me, I am Jesus the Nazarene, whom you are persecuting. My companion saw the light, but did not hear the voice of the one who spoke to me. I asked, What shall I do, sir? The Lord answered me, Get up and go into Damascus, and there you will be told about everything appointed for you to do. Since I could see nothing because of the brightness of that light, I was led by hand by my companions and entered Damascus. A certain Ananias, a devout observer of the law, and highly spoken of by all the Jews who lived there, came to me and stood there and said, Saul, my brother, regain your sight. And at that very moment I regained my sight and saw him. And he said, The God of our ancestors designated you to know his will, to see the righteous one, and to hear the sound of his voice. For you will be his witness before all, to what you have seen and heard. Now why delay? Get up and have yourself baptized and your sins washed away, calling upon his name. So one of the greatest moments in history is recounted in our first reading today. Jesus intervenes in Saul's misguided crusade. A blinding light knocks Saul to the ground as a voice challenges him. Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Saul, humbled and helpless, asks Jesus, What shall I do, sir? And so Jesus sends Saul to his disciples in Damascus. The man the disciples once feared is led by hand into their care to be healed, baptized, and to be given his mission. His story will continue throughout the New Testament, where the Greek version of his name, Paul, will supplant the Hebrew version of Saul. Jesus redeems Saul's passion and zeal, reorienting it toward good and the gospel. Paul is another example, like Peter, of Jesus' selection of unlikely heroes. These two are revered as the great apostles of the church. Peter denied and abandoned Jesus at the cross. Paul persecuted this way to death. If faults were all Jesus saw in Peter and Paul, we would not have the church we have today. The good news is that Jesus is more merciful than that. He redeems and reorients us all despite our faults and failings. In his mercy, Jesus redeems those of us who, like Peter, lack consistency and zeal for our faith, or who, like Paul, become overzealous about our own righteousness to the point of persecuting others. Jesus knows our faults and redeems us anyway. He sends us forth to glorify the Lord with our lives and to announce the gospel of the Lord. So today, may we ask Jesus for what we need, trust that he always knows. In his mercy, we receive what we need. Jesus desires every creature to know and to share in the joy of this good news. Through this, our baptism, he commissions us as his witnesses. And then he sends us forth as bright lights, shining and voices calling out, reorienting the world to his mercy and to his love. Well, it's a feast day, so let's continue to celebrate the blessings that God gives us as we continue to benefit from these great saints of old, and let's continue to allow the saints of the present age to guide us along the way as well. Let's keep praying for one another on this Thursday. Hope your week's been going well. God bless you and take care.